righty, folks, we're coming back with it. We got Benjamin Vanhook all the way from Franklin, North Carolina, who has had boots on the ground ever since this flood has taken in, and we've had all kinds of folks on from the government telling us what a great job FEMA's doing, but now we've got Benjamin up there. He can shed a little light on what's really happening. How are you this morning, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, man, we're wide open down here. Yep, about 40 degrees, but we're hanging in there, so... You have been at this ever since the flood started. Can you kind of shed a little light about what's going on, how it started, and where we're at now?
Yeah, so I was actually in Florida as soon as it happened, and you get the hurricane comes, you get the reports, and you're like, it can't be that bad. So then more details come out, more details. You start getting pictures, you start getting stories. And you get a little glimpse of how bad this could possibly be. And as it goes on, so our group, I live in Mooresville, North Carolina now, but of course I'm from Franklin. So our group started helping down in Mooresville. We went to the Hickory Airport, had some helicopters, had some planes, started flying stuff in. And you just kept finding out more and more each day how bad it is. And until you actually go in and see it, you can see the pictures. Until you go in and see it, there's no way to understand how bad this is. You could have a nuclear bomb couldn't have done this much damage. There's no way. It would have been impossible. It might have been better because it would have flattened the whole thing. So here you're talking about mountains have changed shapes, valleys have changed sizes. 10 total towns are close to that are just wiped off the face of the earth. And there's all these volunteers are going in and trying to help, and they're pulling down trees or digging stuff out, and bodies are just falling out of the trees, falling off the mountain. It's a third world country. That's what we're at right now. We have a third world country that got hit by a bomb.
Well, now we've seen the pictures and heard where the towns are gone, people's houses are gone. You hear all kinds of stuff where actually they've seen a man and a child floating down the river on top of their house. I mean, yeah, that is crazy. But now you've been boots on the ground. You've actually been taking stuff in. What are you needing? I mean, as the folks out there listening, what are you needing at this point? I mean, how long you've been at it ever since the flood has started? I don't know, what is the death toll up to now? Does anybody really know?
You don't know because so we've got a pretty good effort. We started a nonprofit. We should have our status today. There's several others. There's a lot of grassroots organizations that are doing this. We have equipment that we have in there. The death total we won't know that for a long time. And we know whenever they were reporting like 112, we knew that it was over 1,000.
Wow.
There's places that they had to bring in refrigeration trucks. I mean, they're finding bodies every day. If I had to guess, now this is just me, knowing what I've seen, knowing what I know, it's going to be close to 10,000 people.
That's what I just got. Somebody sent me a text that says guarantee, somebody who's been up there that we know has been a guarantee there's a minimum of 5,000 to 8,000 homeless people dead.
Wow.
That was the thing. So you got to think about all these houses and all these towns got washed away. Mm-hmm. And, in Lake Lure, they're having to dig out the lake. And as they dig it out, they're having to have cadaver dogs go through what they dig out. They find the bodies, they put them over, and then they got to send the stuff away. You've got a whole town of Chimney Rock in one lake.
Yeah.
And you got more than that. I mean, every day we're finding bodies. They're flying over these places and seeing them floating. And it's going to be an astronomical number of people that are dead. There's whole families. I mean, we found where, it came through a holler and took a whole family that's been there for hundreds of years. They're all gone.
Right.
There's no way to describe how it is. You can see the pictures.
Right.
But until you go and the feeling is just, it's a feeling of death. Of hopelessness. It's, right now I think it's impossible to fix this. Mm-hmm. So the victims that it actually happened to, they have to feel no sense of hope. And that's what we're trying to bring back. So we started Mountain Alliance and Mission, and we've got Western North Carolina Strong. That's this apparel. We're making it where people can buy this shirt for a victim. We've got hoodies because winter's coming. You know, it's 40 degrees there. It's gonna be 30 already up in Boone in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing this Western North Carolina Strong. You can buy a hoodie, send to a victim, send to the volunteers, or you can buy one for yourself to bring awareness. The proceeds go to help this out. We started a nonprofit, so we're trying to get it funded and endowed. The needs up there right now. So it's been a great effort. And right now we know that we've got people from all over the country coming in. They're bringing supplies. They're willing to volunteer. So we're trying to make an effort while we have all these people to let them bring the supplies in. When they bring us supplies, we're trying to find areas to stock them. So we're trying to get other mountain communities to start stocking these supplies, because in 2 months they're going to forget about us.
Oh yeah, I'm
We're
with you
not,
on that.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
that we're not going to have this supply line and this supply chain. So we need to start putting these back and organizing the church, so the church is able to do this for a long period of time.
Right.
Because this can be years. You know, they're talking about 2 years before a lot of these places even think about having power.
Right.
But to go back to what you asked, what's needed now? It's heating sources. We need propane heaters. We need kerosene heaters. We need propane. That's a hard one to get right now. Any kind of fuel for heating. We need warm clothes, blankets. And then if you go on my page, my Facebook, Benjamin Vanhook, or my TikTok at Benjamin Vanhook, or we'll put up the Western North Carolina Strong, it looks just like this on Facebook. We're getting the pictures from all the different fire departments, and we're putting them up there. And it's kind of weird because you get all these funny requests, and it's something me or you would never think about. Like, you wouldn't think this is a need, but then once you think about it, you're like, yeah, I guess people do need that. You know, like different kind of medical supplies. The one that sticks out, there was a board from Elk River that amongst all the grassroots, it just kept getting passed around, and it was kind of snickered at, but it was just because none of us thought about all these things, like colostrum bags.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't think about that.
No.
But it's a need.
Yeah.
So Ben, how do we get this stuff to you? If I want to donate propane or sleeping bags or whatever it may be, how do I get it to you?
So we're set up in Franklin at Discover Church, and that's the location you can come. We've got other warehouses that people are donating that we're able to, you know, if it's not an immediate need, we're taking it. A lot of the distribution places in the mountains, because they got flooded so much, they don't have any more room. So they're actually having to turn people away they don't want to. So we're trying to get ahead of the game and find warehouses all across the mountains. So if you know somebody, even over in Blairsville, if you know somebody that has a warehouse, or if somebody knows somebody that has a warehouse, we would help organize with the church and start stockpiling stuff in there for us to use later.
You know, I do know somebody that owns a bunch of warehouses, so I'll look into that this afternoon for you, and maybe that could be a collection point in Blairsville.
So let me ask you something, Benjamin. You're actually up there, and I feel like you're ahead of the game because you've been at it. So we've got a lot of churches in this area that has been taking food up there and trying to help. We've actually got a Free Will Baptist churches going up. I think they left this morning going up, and they're actually cooking. They're going up and cooking and feeding people. That's doing that, which is a great need that they're needing on that. But these folks that's bringing food in up there, do you feel like that it would be better if they brought them to you to where you can actually store this stuff up, what they need? Because you've kind of got an idea of what needs and where the needs are at and what they're needing now and what they'll need later.
Yes and no. So, again, if they'll go follow us, and they can private message me, or you're good to text me and tell me what you've got. If you're wanting to go into the zone, I've been calling it the zone, we can find areas that, depending on what you have, that need it.
Right.
There's still areas that are only accessible by helicopter. So in those situations, like we sent 15 generators in on a Black Hawk yesterday. it's placed in Elk River. They're still cut off. So we're having to access them solely by air. You can't get there by ground. I did hear a stat yesterday. I think 98% of all roads are open. So that's a good thing. We're able to start going by ground. It got expensive. Whenever you're flying, we were on a sort of a brainstorming podcast, and we had other people on last night. And someone asked, how many flights do you think have gone in and out? And I was trying to calculate the days and knowing how many helicopters we were flying with and how many helicopters at all the other airports. And I would have to say, it's kind of up there with what I said the death total was, 10,000. And you think about 10,000 helicopter flights,
right?
How much fuel, and whenever you're flying Blackhawks, there's probably 5 to 10 Blackhawks flying. I mean, the fuel burn gets really expensive, and we were self-funding and donated. I think for the helicopter, for the air part of this, we'd raised close to $1 million. Mills River, they're the ones that are handling the helicopter side of it. And
Ben, where's the government helicopters? Where's FEMA and the National Guard helicopters and the Coast Guard and whoever else, the Army?
At first they didn't show up, and then FEMA sort of showed up and tried to take over and tried to stop the grassroots. And there was a group, they're called Western North Carolina something. Let me look at my files. They were able to go in and get with the EOC, and if they could verify the grassroots campaign and know that we were what we were doing, we were all able to get protection. So FEMA couldn't actually stop us. And a lot of people are mad at FEMA, and a lot of people are mad at the government for that. I'm mad at the government for the slow response. Right. Is what and then I was talking to a liaison between the EOC, and they're talking about sending in the 82nd, which they did. And, I was actually, I had to go to LA for a little bit, but I was on the phone there the whole time. Me and my wife basically went there to work in a hotel room, it seemed like. But they, I just told them, if you're going to send, these people are hurt. Appalachia's hurt. Mm-hmm. They're mad. They're mad you didn't show up. If you're going to show up, you need to go in humbly and meekly and not go in and try to militarize and take things. Mm-hmm. But we were able, it's actually called the Western Carolina Emergency Network. They were able to get us protection and get these other grassroots protection. We have to carry these papers around. But to a degree, I understand where they're coming from. In any network or any emergency, bad people show up just as well as good people.
Oh, absolutely with that. Mm-hmm.
And we've got to keep the bad people out. We want the good people in. We want the bad people out.
Yeah, but looters don't normally show up in a helicopter, dude. They're not coming to steal your TV in a Blackhawk. So
yeah, that was a big thing with that, and we didn't really ever get grounded on the helicopter stuff. We got the ground stuff is the one they stopped. They just wanted to make sure. Whenever I was talking to the EOC, like, we want to make sure the pilot has a license and insured. And then my business partner, Josh Drake, and best friend, he said, well, who the hell has a $2 million helicopter and isn't licensed and insured, where is that coming from? So
we are in the South, though, man. We're in the South. You got to remember that.
We're in the South. You don't know who's got a helicopter. So that they are wanting to keep the bad people out, and I get that. And that's one thing we're doing. So the nonprofit that we're starting, the Mountain Alliance, and I've got lawyers, working for free. So, it has to be sort of important.
Right.
I'm trying to create, first, we want to make sure people are mentally and physically fit. Those needs are met and they're fed. That's the immediate needs. Then we're trying to make sure we're looking for FEMA specialists that have dealt with FEMA, that can help us shoot videos and then be a resource for people. These people don't know where to even start at. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be, our website just launched, and we're having to build it out as we go. But we want to be a place that people that are victims can go and be a one-stop shop and have comfort and know that they can come to this website and get all the info they want. So we want videos and help with showing them how to navigate the FEMA and insurance process. We want to make sure they get the most money they can get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we want to make sure they keep their money. In any of these situations, you have contractors show up and these people got their insurance payout. These contractors come in, work for 2 or 3 days, do a little bit of work, get a big payout, and then they disappear.
Yeah.
And
that's the bad people.
The people lose their money. So Orville Coward is helping me with some lawyers out of Asheville. We're going to get simple contracts that they can fill out with these contractors. They can go online, print it, or we're going to get on handouts and go hand them out to the communities that they can do a simple contract and then a fact sheet and a question and answer sheet so they know how to navigate the process. Like, don't pay these people a bunch of money in the third day.
Right.
You know, make sure it's done correctly. This is how you pay people out. And if you have questions, let us know. And we're also trying to be a resource. I'm a land developer by trade. We develop all over the Southeast. And then we have connections to manufactured homes, tiny homes, pod homes. We're trying to tie up the capacity with those manufacturers so we can start getting the homes sent in. If not, you know, Florida got hit, you're going to have other stuff happen. It's going to be years before we get enough homes to replace the ones we lost. So. And we're trying to tie up capacity to get these homes available for these towns that need to rebuild. And that's another thing we're looking for are investors or just someone that wants to help us do that. The more capacity we can tie up with the manufacturers, the quicker we can get homes to the area and the quicker we can rebuild.
Right.
So that's kind of what we're doing. We're trying to make sure that citizens are okay. Then we're trying to make sure they're protected whenever they are going through the process. And then we want to help Western North Carolina rebuild quicker.
Right.
And we're doing all of it. We're doing Eastern Tennessee, Virginia, Southwest Virginia got hit. We want to make sure that this isn't a Katrina situation. And 5 years from now, we still have, we don't have any homes for these people.
Yeah.
And it's worse here because we have winter coming.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be tough.
Benjamin, hold on a minute. We got to take about a 3-minute break, if you would, if you're not in a big hurry, and like talk to you a little bit more about this.
Yeah.
All righty, folks. We got Benjamin Vanhook on with us. That is actually boots on the ground in Western North Carolina and Tennessee, trying to get something done. Across the teletype machine, we have got people saying, please repeat his contact information, please, where we can get up with him or what we need to do with that. So do you got your website and all that stuff?
Yeah, so our website is becoming-exponential.com. And the whole theory, this was actually going to be set up for something else, but the whole theory behind Becoming Exponential is a bunch of small efforts make a real big effort. So, if everybody's doing something small, we can get going in the right direction. Everybody's small effort, we're going to have a big effort. Our Facebook is WNC Strong. Just like my shirt, you can text me at 828-342-3071. Again, that's 828-342-3071. You can find me on Facebook, Benjamin Vanhook. You can find us on TikTok at Benjamin Vanhook. And you can find us on Instagram at Van Drake Racing. So those are different ways to get up with us. Or you can email me. It's benjamin.exponential@gmail.com.
And we've got all the contact information over here at the station. So if you want to just call here, y'all know the number here, 706-379-9770, and we can get you in contact with him. But now you're still bringing in food. Is anything particular other than something? Okay, wait a minute. Let my brain slow down and catch up with my mouth. The fuel for these helicopters and the airplanes and stuff like that. I know there's a lot of folks involved with that. I've seen Cletus McFarland's actually taking donations, trying to get some of that stuff going.
Yep.
Can people actually, instead of sending food or whatever, they can actually donate to the fuel right from their home? Can they not?
They can. They can go on our website. That just launched this morning. We've got a place to donate. You can get with me, and I can get you with the different funds. We have. We have funds for fuel. We have funds for oxygen. We have funds. We're actually going in and building mobile units. So that was one thing FEMA really let us down on. And you know, I'm trying to get good parts of FEMA, but there's a lot of bad parts of FEMA.
Right.
I think they're now making a concerted effort after they know how bad they failed. You know, the biggest thing that people saw were people that are crossing the border are getting $3,500 and they're offering us $750.
Boy, I'm telling you, you can't even buy a pack of cigarettes for $750, man.
No, that's a tough one. That's a tough one on me. But so what we're finding now, and this is what we're trying to battle, is, you know, we've got all these workers, we've got these volunteers, and they're in these camps.
Right.
Well, they don't have a way to take a shower. They don't have clean water. They don't have a way to wash their clothes. They have nothing good to look forward to at all.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually, Michael McClure at Tar Heel, I made the post that we need something for clean water. So he hits me up and says, I can build a mobile water filtration system, and we can take water out of a creek and they can drink it and bathe in it.
Right.
So we're finishing that up today. It's a full system. At first we were going to do it on an open trailer, and then we know winter's coming. So I'll send you all some pics of it. It's a full water filtration system in an enclosed 24-foot trailer. It has the filters. It has the UV lights. We have a pump that pumps water out of the creek into it. As fast as we can pump water, we can make it drinkable.
Wow.
We ended up buying a lot of 275-gallon tanks, and we're going to set them up at all the places that don't have clean water they can drink. And we're just going to have somebody in a truck drive this trailer around and fill up those tanks all day long.
Right.
And then like in Black Mountain, the workers, they're trying to keep it a secret, I guess, but they're starting to get sick because of hygiene.
Right.
So we went and bought shower trailers. We drove over to Tennessee, bought shower trailers. We're delivering those today to the workers. So they'll be able to take showers. We're building mobile laundry units that we can take into these camps so they can do their laundry. Beam trailers here in Mooresville that he reached out to me. He had a trailer with a bathroom already in it. It was open in the back. It's kind of a unique trailer because you don't see this setup. But we're going to make it like a mobile command unit, and it's got a serving tray in it, or a serving window in it. We're going to be able to serve breakfast out of that. We're going to set up a little coffee shop in it. We're going to set up a washer and dryer unit in it.
Right.
It'll have the bathrooms for people to take showers. It'll be a self-contained unit that basically does it all. And then all these units we're putting Starlink on because they don't have a way to communicate. So even like our shower unit that we're going to send in, we're going to mount a Starlink, have the login on the side of the trailer, and then these places that get these will be able to actually communicate as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to come up with these unique ways to get these things into them. But as far as food goes, really, we're looking for ways to give people a little bit of comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Water was a big thing in the beginning, but if you're a kid or you drink Coke your entire life, some kind of Coke, they need to start getting those sort of things in as well.
Mm-hmm.
Something to go back to normal.
Well, you don't think about that. You don't. You think about this water and bare necessities, and then everybody just floods you with that. But then there's a lot of stuff like toothbrushes. You don't think about toothbrushes and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Just normal stuff that you don't have. And that's the thing, we talked about it the other day. A lot of these folks had stuff stored up in their house where they could live for 2 or 3 days. But you got to understand, their house is gone. I mean, everything's gone. Right. It's gone. So there's nothing.
Where are these people sheltering now that they did, their house is gone? Is there plenty of shelters?
No, there's not. That's the problem. Like we're trying to find places, and that's the big reason why I'm trying to make a push to start getting houses here. There's so anybody that wants to help with that, reach out to me.
Where are they sleeping tonight, Benjamin? Are they in a neighbor's couch, or there's no government shelter set up? No FEMA shelter?
There's some getting set up now. I mean, for a while, we got people sleeping on the ground. We found a family 2 days ago that hadn't. I mean, we're finding places that people have never been, that haven't been contacted or had any outside help yet.
Wow.
So we found one. It was really neat. I did my podcast, and I think it was the first podcast I did on this. And the next day I went to Franklin. our crew there, they came up and they told me the story. They found a family of, I think, 9 in a camper hanging off a cliff. Basically, nobody had been to them, and they were able to get to them, get them out. And then they didn't have anywhere to sleep or anything to sleep on, and we needed cots. Well, they get back to Franklin, and this family's pulling in from Georgia. And lo and behold, they have cots,
Right.
kids' cots and adult cots. And we're able to get them those cots and get them back over to those people, so they had something to sleep on. And that family that had brought the cots had just happened to hear my podcast the night before, knew that we were taking stuff at Discovery Church, and that's where they brought it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, God's really working in a lot of this. We've got
absolutely.
I can't tell you the contacts, like how many times I get a need sent to me on Facebook, or all these different groups, or we're in a group chat. So if we need something, we put it in the group chat, and everybody starts trying to find it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So Benjamin,
So I don't know how many times in a group chat.
I'm sorry. I got a network of business owners reaching out to me right now, trying to find you warehouse space in Blairsville, and they're asking how many square feet you might need, and for how long do you think you'll need it?
I mean, I would say 5,000 square feet's a great start. And if we could keep it through the winter months, so we can stockpile stuff for the winter. Another thing that we need with that is the church over there. You know, I'm not in Blairsville, but if there's a good church that could help us organize that and get in with our church network that we're forming. To me, the church has always been about, you know, that exact thing, helping organize the donations, helping get the donations. So if we get a good church network that's working together, even on the mental health and spiritual health and emotional health, if we can get churches in all the affected areas, and then we can get the network with churches outside the affected areas, and they're able to work together and store these supplies and get it in. The other thing that sets up is if somebody is struggling and they're scared to go to the church and ask for help.
Right.
Well, if that's where the donations are, and that's where you've got to go to get your food, that opens a real door for people to go in. And even if they're scared to go, they're going to go for that food. And then if they see something good happening, maybe they'll open up and tell somebody what's wrong.
There you go.
To me, it's just the way it's supposed to be. It's the way it's always supposed to have been. And yes, we had to fly in and help with all that to start out with, but it's time the church starts taking over. Yeah. And I think they're going to do it. I know they're going to do it.
Oh, we got a lot of churches here right now that's actually working hard.
They are,
in all the counties working hard as they can. Let me ask you another question, and we've got to get going. But I appreciate you coming on, Benjamin. Appreciate what you're doing. All of y'all doing. Everybody that's doing this, even in this area. But what about relocating some of the families? If people actually have houses in this area or around that they can retake, because that's something that is a possibility y'all are looking for.
Yeah, and we've done a couple of those already, and that would be great. And the thing I would say to them is, you know, you don't have to just lose money on this. If you can get these people in until they get applied for their government help or insurance help, say you give them a lease for $1 a month, knowing that when they get that help, it'll all be paid back. Right. Maybe you do the regular lease and just let them stay there for X amount until we're able to get them the government support or their insurance support, and then that'll start paying for it. The hard part on this, though, and what we're going to have to work through and what our nonprofit is really going to work on is these people didn't have flood insurance.
Right.
And these insurance companies are going to, if it's water damage, they're going to really hold on. You know, this was a natural disaster. They're going to try to hold it to flood. That's one thing we want to do in the nonprofit is get a legal team and really put pressure on the insurance companies to do the right thing.
Right.
It's going to be, and you know, we need to pool our money, everybody, and you can pledge stocks, you can pledge whatever, and you can get that money back in 5 years. If you have money that, you know, it's just sitting there, if you want to pledge it and let us use the interest off of it, we can use that interest to get loans to get these people in housing. And it's going to be we the people. It's going to be us that have to do this, and I guess I'm going to be the one that helps organize it. But we have to do everything possible and pledge as much money as we can to get these people back in homes. And again, if you do it, you can either put the money up to help us endow this.
Right.
You can help us run it for now. You can pledge half for endowment. You could give us half to keep it running. Or there's a way, and I'm learning all this at hyper speed. And I got a bunch of stuff for the nonprofit. The guy at First Citizens Bank is helping me get it set up, and he knows everything nonprofit. He told me last night there's a way that you can pledge stock, bonds, CDs, and pledge them for 5 years, 10 years. There's a minimum year that you have to pledge it, but we can use the interest off that to run the nonprofit and to get loans to help these people get housing back.
Right.
Where we can do developments and get that going. So anybody out there that wants to help with that or help raise money to help these people, get with me, because that's going to be the biggest part of this. We have to get the need out to the world, really.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way we're going to get this place rebuilt and get Western North Carolina and East Tennessee and Southwest Virginia healed up and back to thriving instead of being a third world country.
Well, Benjamin, we have got to get going, but I so much appreciate you coming on. I'd love to have you come back next week and kind of give us an update of what's going on, see if we can keep these people, because I'm like you. I think, after the new wears off of it, people's going to forget. They seem like they got shorter attention spans, but Western North Carolina, or WNC Strong, he's got the T-shirt on. You see that. Contact him on that. Benjamin Vanhook on Facebook. And we have got all the contact information over here, too. And any way that anybody can help, we're asking you, especially if you can just donate money. That is one of the biggest things that you can do, because they know what they need and they know where to get it. Yep.
Yeah. I would love to come on weekly and give you all updates and let you know where we are, what we've done. We'll start sharing pictures of these mobile units that we're building. We'll show them in the field, actually, doing what we're designing them to do. And the more we can build of those, the better. Drinking water, showers, and laundry units are, they're a necessity right now. Right. And the government did not step up and help with those. And I'm not, that's one thing I'm not happy with them. Now, Kevin Corbin, our rep, he's done a great job. We text back and forth. He is in meetings every single day. He's trying to get this thing going. So I give props to Kevin, and I give props to Carl Gillespie. They're doing a great job as our representatives there. Hopefully they can get FEMA on board and really help us make a difference. So Benjamin, I appreciate you guys for doing that.
Nope, absolutely.
See you next week.
Glad to do it, and we'll talk to you then, man. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
All right, you heard it right from boots on the ground. So there's a lot of stuff to be helped on that. But anyway, we're going to get to a quick break. When we get back, we'll talk about some of that. Folks, we appreciate Benjamin Vanhook coming on here. And if y'all need any kind of contact information on that, let us know for sure. And they've been at it for a long time. Now, they're not the only ones up there doing it, but, they're the only ones I really know. Of course, we got
He's
churches.
doing it on a serious scale. Right. I know a lot of other people doing it on a smaller scale, and it all adds up. So
but here's the thing. If we can get everybody to come together with a network to one location, it'd be because
much more
efficient than you have one over here, one over there, one over there. If everybody's working for the same cause and going out, but that's the thing about it. People's memories and minds are short, and like I said, after the new wears off of this, people's gonna forget.
Oh, there's no doubt. 2 weeks from now, people have forgotten all about it.